कंप्यूटर जी पहला क्वेश्चन लॉक किया जाए। आज एक कहानी शुरू होने वाली है, पैसों की, सपनों की और सिनेमा की।
वाह क्या एक्टिंग कर रहा है।
स्वागत नहीं करोगे आप हमारा?
सर वो सब ठीक है, बट आपको पता है लोका मूवी 30 करोड़ में बनी थी और 200 करोड़ कमा लिए, और यहाँ पे कुछ बॉलीवुड मूवीज 200 करोड़ लगा के भी 100 करोड़ नहीं कमा पाते। तो सोचो कितना इन्वेस्टर का लॉस होता रहेगा।
इन्वेस्टर का कोई लॉस नहीं होता दोस्त।
हैं?
क्या बात कर रहे हैं?
चलिए शुरू करते हैं। What makes the movie successful? Story, strategy, or smart money? With today's episode, we are going behind the box office with Setu Manikandan, co-founder of Better Invest. Setu, welcome to our podcast series
Thank you.
Investwise Bharat.
Thank you so much for having me here. I'm pretty excited for this session.
Yeah, so before we start about this podcast, we just like to know your life journey, beyond your title, professional title.
If that is beyond my professional title, then I would like to describe myself as a person who is traveling with cinema since childhood. Because we used to back in my city. So actually, I was born in a town named Erode, which is at the western part of Tamil Nadu. Back then, in our town, we used to own a cinema theater. So I remember watching movies since my age of 4, 5, 6. That's when I started watching movies in the cinema theaters, and I even have a fresh memory of watching again in our cinema theater we used to release Hollywood movies in our town. We are the only theater which releases Hollywood movies back then in our time. So I even have a fresh memory of watching the Jurassic Park. If I'm not wrong, I might be 5, 6 years old. That's how my journey began in cinema, and from then I used to be watching all the movies, first day, first shows. I used to be running in the queue, theaters, sitting. I'm a hardcore Rajinikanth fan. So I never miss any first day, first show in that case. I believe you also might be having similar kind of an memory when it comes to watching movies back then.
And during our childhood, we go visit a theater, and there was a police lathi charge and whatnot, and there's a black marketing tickets and all.
Yeah.
But it was a fun that time also.
Yeah. More fanatic, and then it was fun. Like you said, my friends also used to call me a movie buff, and that back then. So being as a movie buff, it made me end up meeting like-minded people. So that's when I met Pradeep, and then we ended up. It's my post-graduation during my college days is when I met Pradeep and other people. Then where we were like thinking of where there is no way we can watch a Tamil movie outside Tamil Nadu. There is no way. Then there were like piracy websites at that point of time where people used to download movies and watch in laptops and mobile screens. And we thought, is there any legal way or is there any proper way to watch a movie apart from theaters? Then we thought, okay, apart from the theaters, we have to wait for 4, 5 months for the movie to get released on TVs. So we thought, okay, why not we start a OTT platform? Why not we start a Netflix of Tamil cinema? That's how the thought process came in. Then we started our journey in this segment, in this industry as a proper business as a OTT platform. So we launched our own OTT platform named Hero Talkies. It was way back in 2014, where we were serving the NRI segment, and we named any movie from 2014 to 2018. We acquired all the movies in Tamil industry. And it was we had the largest subscriber base in Tamil back then at that point of time. And now currently being in this industry for such a long time, for 10 years, where I used to be as a consumer during the childhood, now being inside the industry as a person who is distributing the movies via digital platforms, we identified a lot of opportunities within the industry. That's when we identified this opportunity of financing the content producers, where there is a more certainty of revenue streams in that content producers streams as well. That's when we started Better Invest here. And that fundamental thought process in the Better Invest process is like where there is a cash flow gap for the production houses, where we can convert this into a secured asset class. So why not? There are investment products across industries, and currently this industry opportunity is scattered only by or taken up only by the people within industries. So we thought, why not we convert this into a product for the investors to diversify their portfolio into. That's how we started Better Invest, and now I'm here as the co-founder of Better Invest.
So that was quite an interesting journey. Yeah? It is
Yeah.
very eventful, like
Yeah.
setting up OTT platform
Yeah.
where nobody is aware about. Majority of the people are not aware about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it is more of a satellite TV, where
Yeah,
the people
yeah.
are watching after the theaters.
Yeah.
So it is quite a eventful journey.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
you.
I remember we were the people who were knocking the doors of producers saying, "Hey guys, this is an additional way you can monetize," because producers were not aware of OTT platforms back then in 2013-14. So I am pretty excited that we started our journey from there, where producers were looking to, okay, this is something where we can monetize additionally. Then now it has become the major revenue stream for the production house today.
Yeah.
So it's great.
Yeah,
learning.
but does it really becoming famous or people are familiar about this? Because see, if you look at our Indian society, I mean, since independence, people are more invested in the traditional products like real estate, property, and that is also not out of the reason because that point of time people are more looking at the security aspect, job security, home security, investment security, all these kinds of things happen. So majority of the investment happening in the real estate, which is also getting reflected in the investment pattern of our Indian society, basically
Yeah.
Indian household.
Yeah.
So from there, like real estate, property, gold.
Gold.
FD, etc.
Yeah.
And you are now talking about investing in movies. So it is so this landscape is changing.
Yeah,
That is what I now believe.
Yeah.
So what is the reason why it is getting changed? Investment landscape.
I think a major shift is happening currently as we speak. I would say one major reason would be the accessibility today.
Okay.
Accessibility in terms of access to asset classes, which was once reserved to an affluent class or a segment of people within the domain who can only understand that opportunity, now getting democratized and available to all the people, to a larger mass today. Again, coming back to accessibility in terms of awareness, information, access to information via lot of content creators are there today where people can easily educate themselves about the new asset classes that is coming in picture. Again, accessibility in terms of technology as well.
Yeah, digitalization
Yes.
and technology has played a very important role
Yeah,
in changing the landscape everywhere,
True.
whether it be investment or any other sectors.
true.
But then there is another area also where it's because of the government initiative where
Yeah.
as a part of a financial inclusion,
Mm.
government has launched JAM,
Yeah.
very popularly known as,
Yeah.
which is Jan Dhan account and Aadhaar and mobile connections.
Yeah.
And
Even they have integrated PAN also along with
yes,
it.
yes.
I think that it has made things easy for us. Even during my father's time, he has to approach a bank or a broker to make an investment. Now
Correct,
it is
correct.
like with one tap, people can make an investment at ease. That's what the technology has made it.
Correct. So it is like a complete change which is happening.
Yeah. Even in the mindset of the investors, even it was.
Yeah, it's very much, and that mindset is because of the current generations.
Yeah.
They are more looking towards high growth, high mobility,
Yeah.
high return, high flexibility.
Yeah.
So that is also like changing the entire landscape everywhere.
True.
See, like the way the investment landscape is changing. So there are many changes are happening in various sectors. Okay, so one of that is cinema, movie industry that is also undergoing a tremendous change. What do you think? How it was, available, how it was operating in the earlier days, couple of decades back, and now what is the change?
Yeah, like how I answered previous question, like how investments asset classes are getting democratized. Similarly, in the Indian cinema is also getting democratized. Now earlier we used to watch cinema in big screens, like in theaters where we pay a ticket and we watch the movie. Now it is easily accessible via mobile phones, where people can easily watch movies via mobile phones. That is the quick shift that has happened in the recent times in the industry. To give you an idea about it, 10-20 years ago, even from a production house perspective, when we're talking about the revenue streams, now I'll talk about the revenue streams or production perspective. It used to be the theaters where they're solely dependent on collections of the movie. Now
Whether it's a super hit or it is a flop, that will decide whether the
yes.
production house or the producer is going to be broke or going to make money.
Yeah, yes, true.
Okay.
And then from there, now with the entry of digital platforms like OTT platforms, and then we do have music streaming platforms. Then people now again broadcasting TV channels. So there was there previously. Now it is also continuing there in different formats as well. So it has been getting evolved. A lot of revenue streams coming to picture for the production houses as well.
But earlier, like, the entire the operation or the production side of the movie is being controlled by few select, big shots because of the funding problem.
Right.
Because it is very difficult to get proper funding or financing for the movie in those old days, like in 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
Majority time it was getting funded by some black money, mafia, or gray money, and politicians, like they are funding the the film industry.
Yeah.
So that was a quite a challenging time in terms of producing the movie. And like in the old cinema operations, you never actually really come to know whether the movie has really made money or really it is made the production house or producer has really done the good work on the financial side. So there were no official records as such being maintained or available, right? So now what is happening? So
now I think there is a major change happened in terms of, right, let me start from the tracking part. Now, as you can see, now since via digital platforms, it is easily trackable, number of views, number of watch hours a movie is clocking in a OTT platform, or you take in YouTube, any audio song releasing in YouTube, you can clock, you can track the watch hours, views, etc. Even in terms of theatrical collection, nowadays it's all tickets are booked via digital platforms. Like there are a lot many booking ticket platforms in the country today, via which the people are purchasing the tickets for the movies to watch the screen. So it is now more trackable in terms of transparency is there in terms of that. And talking about a finance or funding perspective, now that has also majorly shifted because of the entry of all these OTT platforms in picture. The industry has evolved to a stage where more corporatization has happened, more complaint on the financial perspective has happened today. It is where we can easily track what revenue stream, what is the certainty is there.
It's like every day I just open any channel or anything, and there is a pop-up like daily collection of any movie. So it's like every day there is a collection which is getting disclosed, or numbers are out, whether the movie is doing good or not. And so tracking is like on a day-to-day basis. So that is also changed. Changed, like a sea change is there.
Yeah, there are trackers like you said. There are trackers in all the industry who post what is a box office collection of. There is also a fan war because of these trackers. Hey, my star's movie has done this amount of collection. Your star has done only this amount of collection. And like nowadays the tracking has become easily. But yeah, they had these trackers also add to if there's a favorite star, they also add money to it. But yeah, anyway, there is the underlying statement is like now it is measurable.
Measurable, and the people are also hooked to that, because if anyone is a fan of Rajnikant, he always want to know what are the collections and how it is doing, faring and all. And I mean that has resulted into the formalization of the entire industry. I mean everything is getting record and accounts are being maintained and etc. So that is really nice. I mean it's good that the way the industry is evolved. And I think after the to COVID, I think there was a drastic change in the way the movies, getting available on the various platforms. So there is a tremendous phenomenal growth happening in the film industry. So what is the current status of the film industry?
So as you rightly said, the shift happened significantly during COVID time, where a lot of people started watching movies via digital platforms. The content behavior, our consumption behavior has completely shifted during COVID. And talking about the industry, India is the largest, I would say, in terms of production of content and also the consumption of content in the globe, I would say. So you name any industry in the globe, like Hollywood, in the other markets in the globe, India is the largest producer of movies.
How many films?
If you to name the number of films, if you want to number it, I think last year it was close to 1,850 odd movies released in the country.
Oh, really?
And it's keep on in the even the previous year we would have released around 1,700 plus movies. So we are moving towards 2,000 very soon. And within India there are different multiple industries: Hindi, Malayalam, Telugu, Kannada. That's where we became the largest producer of the content. And yeah.
So what is the size of the film industry? Like, there is we always keep hearing about the blockbuster of Hindi movie,
Yeah.
then Tamil movie, Telugu movie. So what is the total size of the film industry?
If you are asking me in terms of
rupees,
revenue,
yeah.
if you ask me, Indian cinema is clocking a revenue of close to 20,000 crores every year. In that case, I would say 20,000 crores. To split that revenue part, 11,000 to 12,000 crores are coming from theaters, which is the primary revenue stream, or the biggest revenue chunk for the movie production houses today. And remaining all, you can take it as a non-theatrical platforms like OTTs, broadcasting TV channels, audio labels, where these other revenue streams are more certain, where production houses can get. I would say about this 20,000 crores, you can consider 11 to 12 as theatrical and remaining 8 to 9 as non-theatrical. That's the split it has been clocking every year. And now there are a lot of tailwinds that is happening. One tailwind is in terms of penetration of internet. Now everyone is accessible to internet.
Yeah, that was a revolution.
Yeah, correct. Okay. And also connected TVs. There are TVs nowadays comes up with the Android app where people can easily watch movies with the connected TV.
So it's completely fusion. Mobile, TV, everything is now getting, there is a fusion of all these platforms and all. So it's like a numbers filling through this technology and this.
True. Even that's the reason why India is again the largest market in terms of consuming. Right. In India, we have, I would say, the number of users watching OTT users are much more than 50 crores. Adding more freemium and subscription paid model together, it's more than 50 crores. So that's the size of OTT users in India alone.
Yeah, just recently I read in the news that around 30 to 35 CR viewer or subscriber base of Jio Hotstar after the merger of both the platforms.
Okay.
Yeah, so but still there is a shift which is likely to happen from the theatrical to these platforms, or this ratio is going to remain the same?
I would say theaters will still be there. I would not say theaters will go into extinct. There are larger than life movies which can be experienced only via theaters, where people go to theaters to watch movies. But apart from that, major other part is going to be consumed via OTTs. And what is happening today is like even the content. If you've seen long back 20 years ago, the movie duration used to be 3 years or more than 3 years. It is now slowly getting shrunk. And and you would have seen a lot of short contents being consumed in YouTube. Now micro dramas are future, where people have that attention span is getting less.
Guys.
That's where the shift is happening today.
Correct. And that is all being led by the current generations.
Yes. And that's where we are placed at today. And to summarize, India is I would say the largest producer and consumer of movies in terms of movie industry.
Yeah, so industry is witnessing a tremendous growth. So there are a lot many films are also getting produced, and a lot many contents are also coming up, like web series, etc. So where are they getting the finance from? Because it's like everything is coming from the production house or from their pockets, or there is a formal channel available for funding.
Yeah, today with the entry of these OTT platforms, where production houses are currently getting borrowings from the private sector, specifically from the private market today. And how it is happening today is like we being in this space for last 3 years, that's where we come into the picture in this case of funding the production houses. When a production house wants to scale the business, where they don't want to shift towards one line of business where they do one project at a time, where with much scale or with much cash flow earlier, they can do 3-4 projects at the same time, where they can scale the business easily. Now, access to capital that's what the solution that we are providing to the production house. I would say the problem statement here is like, the producers now, they are selling the movie to platforms, and the platforms are paying them with a credit period. So even though there is a big cash flow going to come to them after a certain credit period, like 6 months, 9 months later, today there is a cash flow gap where they are in need of funding for the projects or to scale the business in that per se. That's where the discounting is happening, where the invoice discounting or the contract discounting is happening in this space. So to talk about invoice discounting in a brief, invoice discounting is nothing but it is a sales bill where the buyer pays the seller with a credit period of 30 days or 90 days in that case. If the seller is in need of cash flow today upfront, they approach the bankers or the lenders today, where bankers or lenders provide the funding upfront by seeing the credibility of the buyer in that case. So that's the invoice discounting in simple terms today.
Yeah, so I think this is a very new to the film industry and nobody is talking about it. So would you elaborate what way the invoice discounting or contract discounting is working in the context of film?
Okay, when you're talking about the movie spectrum or movie perspective in this case, as you told, production houses today are selling the movie to non-theatrical platforms like OTT, TV channels, audio labels, etc., where these players make an advance payment. So broadly, I will give there are each players have their different own payout methodology. To give a broad idea, 10 to 30% of is what they pay it as an advance payment today. Let's say I am selling movie to a platform, a respective OTT platform. I will be getting a 10 to 30% advance payment today, and the remaining payment will be coming to me as a producer at a later stage where when I deliver the movie to them. It can be 6 months, it can be 9 months, or it can be 12 months. So depending on the stage is where it happens, the cash flow comes to the producer in this case.
Yeah, so you mean to say that the OTT rights or any other rights like audio rights or whatever,
Yeah.
so that right is being sold as a sale,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and that is available as a contract discounting or the
Correct.
invoice discounting.
Correct. So there is a contract between the producer and the OTT platform or the TV channels or audio labels where the contract has a certain fixed amount where via which or the amount that is value which the OTT platform is buying the content from producers today. So this amount is again comes to the producer with a credit period involved. So that's where there is a cash flow gap for the production house in this case, and that's where we come in as a picture to solve the cash flow gap for the production houses.
Okay, so that is the reason why better invest have come into existence.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
is- so can you elaborate more on the what is better invest and how working or operation is?
Yeah, so okay, it will give you an idea about how the transaction flow works here. Let's say I'm a producer today. I am making a movie, and I assume I was sold a movie to a platform like Netflix. Let's say I've sold it for 10 crore rupee today.
Okay.
Today, I may receive for the contract, I may receive an advance payment of ranging. Let's say I'm received 3 crore today, 3 crore rupees today, and there is a 7 crore rupee which Netflix is going to pay me only after I release the movie. Assume I'm releasing movie after 4 months from now.
So it is on the OTT platform.
Yeah, I'm going to get the money from OTT after only 6 months today. Assume that's the example. That's the example scenario which I'm giving. So here I have sold the movie to Netflix for 10 crore rupee. Where Netflix has paid me 3 crore upfront today as an advance. Remaining 7 crore Netflix is going to pay me after 6 months because I'm going to release the movie only after 4 months time frame. Why it is 6 months? Because after I release the movie on theater, after 30 days it will release on OTT. From OTT release it will take 30 to 60 days for OTT to make a payment to me. So today I am sitting with a cash flow of 7 crore rupee that is going to come from Netflix after 6 months. Now today I as a producer I am looking to get a cash flow to infuse the cash flow in production or promotions of my movie. Then I approach Better Invest. That's where we come in picture. As a financing specialization, what we do, we check obviously there is a credibility, the track record of the production house. There is a evaluation methodology that we have with which we select the production house. Let's say it is clearing that evaluation. So what we do, we securitize that cash flow, pending cash flow of 7 CR upfront before we even fund the production house. So that 7 CR from Netflix is something we securitize by getting an endorsement or confirmation from the platform, and then we fund the production house. So here out of 7 crore, we will be funding 5 crore to the production house today. And after 6 months, we'll be collecting that 7 crore via an escrow account. So that's how the bridge financing happens via our platform.
Okay, so watching movie is a fun and exciting.
Yeah.
But investing sounds more serious.
Yeah.
So what are the different streams that available to the production house?
If you're asking me about revenue streams, which very critical today, where there are primary revenue streams, if I need to talk about, it's theatrical still remains the largest revenue stream for the production house even today in that case. And then there are the other revenue streams which have taken up the larger chunk of the pie, I would say, where then comes the OTT revenue, which is the second largest revenue for the production house. And then comes satellite TV channels, which is another part of revenue. And then comes the audio label. So the producer sells various rights of the movie, like for example, the theatrical rights, the digital rights to a OTT platform like Netflix, Amazon, the TV broadcasting rights to TV channels, and then audio rights to audio labels. So these 4 are the major revenue streams. Apart from that, still there are other revenue streams like Hindi dubbing rights, the remake
Oh,
rights.
so all rights are different.
Yeah, sir. There are
Okay.
even more other rights where producer can monetize their content for. Then, but I would say these four are the major revenue streams for any producer in this case.
So like your various rights like Hindi, Telugu, Tamil. So there are also international rights which are being sold separately,
Yeah.
like China, ex-China, European market rights, US rights.
Yeah, I mean, there are Indian diaspora across the globe. So there is always a big market outside India where people want to watch Indian movies. You name it theatrical, there is a big theatrical market outside India. And even in OTT, that's where we started as a platform back in 2013. There is an OTT platforms outside Indian market where they acquire content for. So basically, from a producer perspective, Indian market is the biggest market. Then there is an additional market where outside India, overseas market where via which they also monetize their content for.
So that is where the the problem of finance coming up, or because there are so many revenues.
Yeah, here, as it mentioned, the theatrical part is where they get the revenue once they release the movie. But what happens here, even though the other platforms, they acquire these rights early in the stage of shooting or even before the shooting or sometimes in the midway of shooting, but they don't provide that full payment upfront. So it's an advance payment paid at that point of time and the remaining tranche is paid after the movie release. So there is a gap where there is a cash flow gap for the production house which arise in this case. So all the non-theatrical revenue streams comes only after theatrical release, after the movie releasing on the respective platforms.
So how many movies you are funded or provided the finance through Better Invest?
So far in the last 3 years, we have funded close to 230 plus movies, and this is across industries like Tamil producers, Malayalam, Telugu, Hindi as well, and largely movie producers. And we also have funded producers, content producers who do web series and also TV shows. And probably would say largely to be movie producers in that case. It's what we have funded in this. And when I say 230 plus movies, the volume of transaction we have done is close to 750 crores that we have deployed.
That's fantastic.
And this again has it across the industries. Out of 750 crores, we have again this is across 250 plus projects in the sense deals that we have listed for, and out of which I would say 70 to 70% of deals that have been already matured, and we have repaid it back to the investors close to 510 to 520 crores already via our platform. So we run a platform where we list the opportunities for the investors to participate. My investors can participate, on which these amount of deals have already got matured, and via maturing 530 crores of money that we have repaid back to the investors, we have generated a yield of 17% annualized yield for the investors in this case.
That's really good. But what is the total number of transactions? I mean, in revenue terms, in terms of rupees, gross transaction value that you have done?
Like it's 750. We are now going to touch 750 crores today via our platform across all the projects.
So, how many investors are registered on the platform who got benefited through this investment opportunity?
If you ask me about, I would say transacting investors number, because if you're asking about number of investors, it's more than a lakh that we have a base. But transacting investors, we have in-house of 6,000 plus investors who are transacting on a platform on a monthly basis. And all these fundings have been going to across last 3 years. We have funded close to 80 plus production houses in that case. So I have these 6,000 plus investors.
So it's a really good traction that you have built over the last 3 years.
Yes, sir.
And now it is a time to scale up further. So what is next, and how you are going to build up that scale? What is your future plans of going forward here?
I think we came to this far in the last 3 years. We know there is even more enough avenues in this market and a lot of opportunities in the market which we can scale further into. And so now we wanted to come with a more structured manner. That's why we are now coming with the category 2 SEBI registered alternative investment fund.
Setu, so you are planning to come out with AIF. So kindly throw some light on the same.
Right. So like I mentioned, it's a category 2 alternative investment fund registered with SEBI. And we are looking to build a corpus of 600 crore in this fund. And it's a 5-year tenure product. And as such, any alternative investment funds in category 2, this funds comes with a minimum investment ticket size of 1 crore rupee. And we are targeting a net returns of somewhere between 16 to 18% in this fund. So when I say net returns, it's after deduction of fees, what we are targeting with this fund.
Okay, so then what is the difference between the AIF that you are planning to launch and the contract discounting investment product or opportunity available on your platform.
Yeah, the core difference I would say is only the regulatory aspect where this is registered with SEBI, number one. Number two is this funds where we are coming up with financial models where we are going to charge a fixed interest plus profit share component as well. So this funds has an upside potential where apart from the fixed interest, investors also going to get access to the profit share kickers of the project where that was not available in the contract discounting model. The third criteria would be like we also get access to large grade A, large scale movies, which was not served in the contract discounting the previous or this other product. These are the core differences between the fund and the other product that we have in the pipeline.
Okay. So how you basically, securitize the investment part or the finance part?
Again, here the securitization happens in two ways. One, either we are securitizing the receivables of the top streaming platforms or the non-theatrical platforms which I mentioned. Number one. Number two, or we securitize the IP rights of the movie. So it's either IP backed asset backed funding that we are do, or it's the receivable based funding we are going to do. And apart from all other securitization, we do have other measures where, for example, if you are entering the early stage, we take an insurance, project abandonment insurance. We also take, apart from the other measures, we take lien on the future receivables of the production house. We take indemnity bonds signed by the production house. The personal guarantee that we take in a setup that we take, apart from the all other measures. These are all the measures we take for the projects that we enter in all the financing aspects.
Okay. So can you, elaborate on also how the entire cash flow or everything, works, and how the investors will, get the returns on the same?
Okay, you mean for the contract discounting per se, sir?
Yes.
On the contract discounting per se, as I explained, the production house, if they are sitting with the cash flow which is going to come after 6 months, let's say the cash flow is going to be 10 crore, which is going to come from Netflix after 6 months time frame. So today now they are in need of money, they approach us. We start with securitizing the receivable from top streaming platforms like Netflix, Amazon, Hotstar, etc. We don't work with regional OTTs or any new players in that counterparty in that per se. Number two, again, as a starting at the cash flow perspective, if we are talking about securitization and other security perspective, number two, apart from this securitization, we also take PDCs, indemnity bonds. Also, at times we take insurance as well if we are entering the very early stage of the project.
Right.
These are all the other measures we take as a security in this case.
Okay. So, but then how the investors will be, getting money back on the investments?
Okay, the flow is like, let's say there is a production house who have sold a movie to a platform like Netflix. In this case, there's a pending receivable is 10 CR which is going to come to the production house after 6 months. How the flow works is like, let's say we'll be funding somewhere between 5 to 7 CR against the 10 CR to the production house today. And we are going to upfront securitize that cash flow from Netflix here. So how it works, we fund the production house today. We get that particular cash flow from Netflix in an escrow account. And within the escrow account, there is a waterfall model that is defined with which we are going to pass on the interest and principal component to the investors as a first collection rights of the escrow account. So whenever money hits that account from the counterparty like Netflix and Amazon, the first collection rights are with the investors where we'll be passing on the principal plus interest back to the investors. And then we have a second collection rights where we take our facilitation fee. And then comes whatever the surplus remaining in the account, it goes back to the producer. So investors get returns back directly from the OTT platform, and they are not dependent on the producer to repay here. That's how we have made the flow in such a way where we securitize the receivable upfront and we get the receivable directly in an escrow and we pass it on to the investors.
Oh, that's quite interesting. Huh? I mean, from the point of view of investors, and also as well as fascinating. Why people actually should take, look at Better Invest and the invoice discounting. Okay, that is as a genuine investment opportunity.
Yeah, like this opportunity was once available only to the people within the industry, and banks also do the invoice discounting. It was not available for the common mass people to access to it. Now with more movie and discounting altogether, we are bringing as a product to the mass segments where the retail investors can access it via our platform. There are two products currently we have. One is the contract discounting where the retail investors can participate with as low as 1 lakh rupee ticket size via our platform. And then also we do have a fund which we are going to launch in few months time frame. It's within a next 15-20 days. Mid of October is when we are targeting to launch the fund. It is a SEBI, as I mentioned, it's a category 2 SEBI registered fund, Better Invest Media Vision Fund, where it is also available for the investors who can afford 1 crore rupee to participate in this deal. So there are 2 products that we have currently for the investors to participate with.
Okay, that's really great, and wishing you all the best for your launch of your alternate investment fund.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, but finally, before concluding
Yeah.
this session, which was quite interesting, I'd just like to ask one question. If there is a movie to be made on your life, then what could be the title, and who is going to play your role?
Okay, this is a tough question for me to answer. Okay, if you want me to name my life story as a movie, I would name it maybe Frames and Futures. Frames representing movies and futures representing investments. Especially this phase of my life, I would name it in that way. And second question would be too much for me to answer. If I say any actor, people seeing me would be like, hey, how you do? Okay, anyway, I'll try to answer that question as well. I personally like this specific actor whom I'm going to be named very shortly. He is someone who can play any character in the world, any type of character in the world, and he is Vijay Sethu.
Right.
I am very a big fan of him, and I like him very much. And this man can play any role in the country, and he also shares my name. On that now I realize there is a name connection between both of us.
Right.
I would prefer him to play that role.
I think quite a few movies where he is acted. You have finance and come on.
Yeah. I mean,
Can you name a few?
Maharaja is one of the movie where we have funded the producer against the Netflix receivable. And then there is Talaivan Talaivi, which very recently released, where we funded the producer against Amazon contract. And there are other movies that, and we have been producing, or we have been, even the upcoming project, we are in talks with the production house for funding that case as well.
So right, that's let's end it with this note, and wishing you all the best for your this.
Thank you so much, sir.
welcome.
Thank you so much again for having me here. Thank you.